So today we're going to talk about grace under pressure. And what I mean by that is sometimes at work you're going to feel quite a bit of pressure, and the staff may feel the same thing at the front desk, or you got a patient that's being totally difficult, or your accountant's giving you some really bad financial news and you want to yell back at him and tell him he's nuts. There's all these different kinds of settings where you have an obnoxious client or patient. That's another really good one, where they are just so rude and they're like, what are you going to do? Because you don't want to have your reaction cause a very bad reaction in the other person, because that isn't going to improve the situation. So I thought I'd go over what we can do about this when you get faced with a great deal of pressure. Now, I'm going to take short-term pressure first, where something was said or done that really upset you. So let's take the definition of grace for starters. So we have some pressure built up. Now let's look at the word grace. The definitions: number one, elegance or beauty of form, manner, motion, or action. So very graceful, there's a lot of grace in how something is handled in manner or motion or action. Number two is pleasing or attractive quality or endowment. So some people are just naturally grace defined, like they wear clothes beautifully and they talk beautifully and so on. We're not getting so much into that. Number three, I love this one: mercy, clemency, or pardon. So giving them a grace period because they did something wrong is also very needed in many, many situations, actually, that you don't immediately take the person's head off. So you have to give them a little slack, as the saying goes. Number four is moral strength. Grace, moral strength. I like that. Gives a whole new meaning to moral strength. And pressure is the urgency or the stress of matters demanding your attention. So here we have a situation. Maybe one of the staff came in really super late. Your receptionist came in late, a half hour late, and left you with having to handle the patients that are walking in, that are phoning in, and you got a patient in the chair or being treated. And you're very, it's building up in you, and you're trying to put a good face on it because you're treating somebody. And then a half hour late, in comes your receptionist. Now you could take her head off in front of the patient, but I don't think they're going to think very well of you after that, as in the patient. I think you're going to have a staff member who's upset with you for the rest of the day, and you're going to feel bad about yourself because you actually reacted badly and didn't handle it properly, and you would feel bad about that if you're a good person. So we don't want to go up that route at all. So there's actually 3 steps that you would take in this situation. The first one is realize that you are under pressure, like spot the fact that you're feeling like blowing up. Okay, so you got to spot that first. Then decide, okay, how could I handle this in a graceful way that has a good result for everybody? And then, so get all that organized in your head before you actually open your mouth and say something that you're going to regret later. So grace under pressure means while you're feeling that stress and pressure, being able to act with kindness and with grace. So for instance, here's a good example. For instance, to the receptionist, you could say, oh, thank goodness you're here. Awesome. So here's where we've gotten to so far. So you can take over from this point, and we'll talk about this later on today. And there, you didn't blow up in front of the patient, and you didn't make the staff member feel upset about you for the rest of the day. And you yourself are proud of yourself because you actually handled it with grace. So here's another thing. Sometimes you're under pressure over a long period of time. You've got a financial situation, or you bought a second house before the first one was sold, and it's bridged in the banking, and you're under stress and long-term pressure of a few months and so on. Or maybe it's just things going wrong at the office and you just don't know what to do about them. You've got a staff member who you shouldn't have on board with you, or anything like that. That's sort of a longer term pressure. And so on that sort of circumstance, maybe you find somebody that you can talk to about it. Maybe if it's financial, maybe it's your accountant. Have a good chat about how it could be organized differently so that you're not feeling the stress about it. Or let's say it's a management problem, like a staff member issue or something. Maybe you need to have a good consultant. Northbound Consulting, thought I'd throw that in, but have a good consultant that you can call up and get their advice. And maybe you need to talk to your priest or your minister or spiritual advisor or just really good friend who you can just sit down and have a chat with and work out a solution, because something can probably be done about it, but you need to talk it through with somebody so that you do it gracefully and the outcome is graceful, not blow up. So if you have a long-term pressure, it's best to get it handled, because that's not the way to live life, under stress. So, but I love this grace under pressure thing. I'm going to end it off by saying I recently read an article about Taylor Swift, a famous singer, who got attacked on stage when she was accepting a music award. And it was serious. And I think everybody in the world saw the news about it. And she had a choice. She could like crack and run off the stage and cry. But she remembered that her grandmother talked about grace under pressure, and that she should actually just don't let somebody make you small. That's their problem, not yours. And you don't want to fall into that. So rise up to it and be bigger. And don't make the person wrong, don't attack them. And she gave this fabulous speech to the point where all these celebrities were crying tears of like amazement and clapping and stuff. And that was grace under pressure. And we can exhibit that in practice every day. So you can too. And it just takes a little practice and working out how it can be done. And then away you go. So have fun with that and be graceful under pressure.